In this video, I'm going to start explaining why I am not a big fan of the prone knee hang. In this video, I'm going to start explaining why I am not a big fan of the prone knee hang. I know it's a commonly utilized exercise to work on knee extension. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it necessarily, but I just think that there are better alternatives that I've had great experience with. I actually don't remember the last time I gave someone the prone hang. So I'm just going to sort of explain why I don't like the prone hang and sort of give my alternatives as to what I like better, okay? So the prone hang, I'm going to have Grace here lay on her stomach. Her legs going to be off the edge. Most of you guys are probably really familiar with this one. So she comes to the very edge, sort of right when her kneecap pushes over the edge. And if, let's say this is the ACL side, is just let it hang, right? Most of the time when people are doing this, you're doing this for time, for a lot of time, it's talking several minutes at a time, and they do it inside the clinic. And then in my experience, and again, I personal experience as well, because my first PT when I went through ACL Rehab made me do a lot of these. What I find is that right now there's not that much weight, but obviously if she didn't have full extension, let's say this was her extension right there, and then gravity is trying to obviously push her down, her hamstrings are going to start firing to help essentially combat that motion. And let's say you're like, oh, let's get more and more aggressive and throw an ankle weight on there and sort of put this right there. And you can tell already, again, hypothetically, she's fighting it, her hamstrings. And then ideally, they can try and relax and then let that knee fall. That's what ideally is supposed to happen, right? The whole goal is that the weight is pushing them and pulling them into extension. But if they really don't like it and they're sort of like, again, just don't like this motion and don't like being there, their hamstrings are going to fire, and it's going to be almost more like an isometric hamstring exercise for like 2 or 3 minutes versus actually working on extension. So personally, I understand the purpose of this because you're trying to do like a low load, long duration hold, which is great, especially for people who are really, really stiff. So I'll show you my alternative. So Grace, you're going to sit up for me, and we're just going to use her right leg just because it's on this side. So Grace, scoot back a little bit. So propping it up like this, you can take an ankle weight and just put it on top and then just try and let her knee hang. And you can always, if you want more weight, just throw a second weight and put it right there. Super easy to compare as well. You can obviously put the left leg on there and see how close to the table they are, especially when they're doing actively squeezing and looking at how close their extension is, okay? Nice and easy, and you can even throw some quad squeezes in there to make it more of an active assisted. This is also super easy to replicate at home. At home, essentially, they can just put their foot up on what I usually tell them a coffee table, it's an ottoman, or just 2 chairs of the same height. Put some weight if they have some, or they can use, I've explained the gym bag hang before. This is a great place to utilize that. Low, long duration hold. So if they can, maybe start with 5 minutes at a time and sort of gradually work your way up until they get to that full extension. Another reason why I like this also is because they can do this while they're watching TV, right? Super easy on their phone, whatever it is, they can sort of take their mind off of this task. But I find that most people will actually feel the stretch, and ideally they feel the stretch in the back of the knee versus their hamstrings, which is what I feel like most people will feel during the prone hang. So again, just in my opinion, a better alternative to the prone knee hang. I just think the prone knee hang, a lot of times most people will feel it more in their hamstrings. For me, the prone knee hang is more so the last option. If I've tried all of these, doing some of the manual stuff and trying active exercises, and they still don't get that full knee extension, I might utilize the prone knee hang as a sort of a last option and see if that'll help them. But it's actually never my first option. So yeah, this is just a very simple exercise, and hope you guys find this video helpful. Thank you for watching today's video. Please feel free to like and subscribe. I have started an ACL Mastermind group, which is a program designed for physical therapists, physios, strength coaches, students, and athletic trainers who want to learn more about ACL Rehab. It currently holds over 600 videos and has over 500 members with new videos added every single month. The videos cover immediate post-op to late stage sports-specific movements and everything in between. Content specifically also includes rehab complications, treatment philosophies, case studies where you can see my real-life patients, movement assessments, exercise breakdowns so you understand how to properly teach the exercises. The exercises are also arranged by difficulty level for strengthening exercises, plyometrics, balance, and neuromuscular control. Of course, it also covers late stage for movement exercises from structured all the way to randomized and chaotic to mimic more sports-related settings. And lastly, you also learn how to do return to sport testing, which is extremely important, and this what ultimately determines whether or not someone is safe or not safe to return to sports again. There's also questions within the group where you can learn how I engage with patients and their parents of how to answer difficult questions throughout the rehab process, which is inevitable to come up. And lastly, you gain access to a private forum where you can ask questions directly to me and others within the community. We share research articles, we share other equipment and beneficial equipment and things like that. Anything that can come up within the ACL Rehab spectrum, that's when you can ask within the private forum. And lastly, you can also download the app where you can gain access in your respective facilities directly on your phones. If you have any interest, please feel free to click the link below, and I appreciate you watching today's video.